Guys, welcome back to my channel. This is A Little Less Lisa. If you're new here, my name is Lisa, and this channel is all about my health, wellness, fitness, and weight loss maintenance journey. I have recently lost over 50 pounds, and I did that through diet, exercise, and the help of a GLP-1 medication. So I feel like I've got a little bit of experience to talk about the topic today, and that is 10 reasons why you may not be losing weight on a GLP-1 medication. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. This is simply based on my own personal experiences, reading experiences from other people on Facebook groups, within my comments, other friends that are on the medication, etc. So the first reason you may not be losing weight on a GLP-1 medication is perhaps you're just being a little impatient. What do I mean by that? Well, especially if you have just started the medicine. So in the case of myself taking tirzepatide, you're on the initial 2.5 milligram dose. That is what Eli Lilly calls a loading dose. And there are lots of people that don't lose weight on the loading dose of the medication. The purpose of that dosage is to get your body used to the medicine and get it, sort of acclimated and ready to go into the higher doses. So it's possible, like I said, that you're just being a little impatient. My one huge piece of advice here is do not let other people's success or non-success impact your journey. As they say, comparison is the thief of joy. And just because somebody else may be losing well on a particular dose doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be your journey. So really try as hard as you can not to compare yourself, especially if you are in some of the Facebook groups, etc., or if you're watching, people like me on YouTube or TikTok, for example. Just know that your journey is your journey, but sometimes you just have to give it a little bit of time. Reason number 2 may be poor nutrition. So what do I mean by that? I often talk about don't waste the shot. And to me, that means not eating nutritionally dense foods, right? Not eating foods that your body needs to optimize and do its best. So if you're eating a ton of foods with empty calories, and even if you're eating less of those because the medicine is working and it's keeping your hunger down and it's keeping you feeling fuller longer because of delayed emptying, things like that. So, maybe, you're not eating as many Doritos as you would in the past. So yes, your calorie consumption is less, which, if you're in a calorie deficit, will lead to losing weight. You're not optimizing the weight that you could be losing. In that particular case, you may be losing lean muscle instead of fat. But I really think it's important to focus on your nutrition while you are on a GLP-1 medication. And that's one of the reasons why I love Friday's Health. So if those of you who may be new or, aren't familiar with my journey, I do use Friday's Health to get my GLP-1 medications. I have used them for months and months as my telehealth provider, and I was a patient before I was an advocate. So I am an advocate for Friday's Health, and one of the reasons why I love their program so much is because they look at their patients from a holistic perspective, and they don't just write prescriptions, they help you deal with what I like to call sort of the three-legged stool, right? Which is nutrition, mental health, and fitness. Because without one of those legs of the stool falls over. So you need to address all three of those things in order to be successful, not only on your weight loss journey, but also into maintenance. And so when you are a patient of Friday's Health, like I am, not only do you get access to group nutritional counseling. So multiple times a week, you can get on a Zoom call with one of the nutritionists and they will answer questions. So, maybe you don't have a question that week, but you're listening and somebody else may ask a question that directly applies to you and that can help you in your journey. But in addition to that, they also offer one-on-one nutritional coaching. So you can get on a call with a dietitian one-on-one and talk about what you're eating. You could submit your food journal and they can go over and give you suggestions on what to change and what you should add, or maybe what you want to eat a little bit less of. And like I said, I think it's so important because while you're on this medication, you have access to this amazing tool that will allow you to change habits that you may have had in the past and also help you heal your relationship with food. And so like I said, I just think that Friday's Health has so many things to offer as a patient, but when it comes to nutrition, there's no other telehealth company that does it like them. So if you're thinking about starting your own GLP-1 journey and you're looking for a telehealth company, I would highly recommend Friday's Health. You can use code LISA to save $20 on your first month. There's always a link in my description box of every video. Like I said, you can use that code LISA at any time to save $20 on your first month. And like I said, I cannot recommend Friday's Health more. Reason number 3 you may not be losing weight on a GLP-1 medication is you are not following your prescription. You're not taking your medicine as prescribed. What do I mean by that? 1, are you injecting it in the right place? I've seen people, especially on Facebook groups, say that, one of the places you can inject is in your abdomen. Well, that doesn't mean over on your side or like on your flanks. No, if you look at the instructions, it means around the belly button, okay? So, if you're going out way by your side, yes, that's technically part of your abdomen, but that's not the right area of your abdomen that you should be injecting in. Another reason, maybe you need to change your injection site. While I don't tend to experience really any difference, or at least none that I can note, no significant difference for me, but some people do have significant differences in injection sites as to how their body reacts as it relates to side effects, but more importantly, how their body reacts into absorbing the medicine and how it affects their feeling of fullness, their feeling of satiety, all of those things, their food noise, things like that. So experiment with different injection sites to see if perhaps you have better results that are coinciding with a different injection site. The other thing is maybe you're not reading your dosage correctly, okay? And I have talked about this now in 2 other videos, and I think it is critically important, especially in the times that we're in now, where compounded medication needs to be sort of specifically formulated for the person. People and myself who have been on compound for a long time, our prescriptions are changing. So my normal sort of 1-for-1 dosage, where I used to take 50 units for 5 milligrams, I'm not taking that anymore. So you really need to look at every single vial, especially if you are on compounded medication, and make sure that you are dosing appropriately. Reason number 4, your alcohol consumption. Are you one of those people who are maybe drinking a lot of alcohol still while on a GLP-1 medication? Those calories are absolutely empty calories. I'm not saying you can't enjoy a glass of wine or, a bottle of beer occasionally, but if you're having those every single day and you are trying to stay in a calorie deficit, you're not doing your body justice. You may very well be going over your calorie deficit, number because of drinking alcohol. It just also makes you feel sluggish. It impacts, your mental acuity and things like that. Just in general, I would say if you can really try to avoid alcohol. I know a lot of people actually really react negatively when they drink alcohol while on this medication, but some people it doesn't seem to have a negative effect, except for slowing their weight loss down. Reason number 5, you're not getting enough protein in. Why is protein important? Well, first of all, protein is huge when it comes to satiety. So protein will help you feel fuller longer, right? Because it takes longer to digest, and it helps you feel more satiated. It helps you feel like you have enjoyed your meal and that it's sort of had enough, right? And then the other thing is that protein helps build muscle. And what do more muscles mean? It means a higher metabolic rate, which means you can eat more, right? So it's like a domino effect. The more protein you eat, obviously paired with, strength training, the more muscle you can build, the more muscle you have, the more calories you can eat, because muscle burns more calories than fat. So the more muscle you have, the less fat you have, the more calories you burn. Number 6 kind of goes hand in hand with number 5, and that's that you're not focusing on strength training. I think one of my biggest mistakes in my journey was not focusing on strength training from day dot. I think a lot of us just kind of start and we don't think about things, but if there were 2 things that I could do if starting my journey over again, it would be 1, focusing on strength training, and 2, getting a DEXA scan immediately so that I could see how my strength training is impacting my weight loss. But it's really, really crucial. If you are a postmenopausal woman like me, it is imperative that you are focusing on strength training. It helps with bone density, etc. But you really want to preserve as much lean muscle while you lose weight as possible. Everyone is going to lose muscle as they lose weight, but you can help prevent the loss of lean muscle over fat if you focus on strength training. So if you pair focusing on protein consumption and strength training, you will see dividends when it comes to weight loss. Reason number 7, you may have just hit a plateau. Most people in their weight loss journeys will hit a plateau, right? A lot of us have set points. If you aren't familiar with that concept, it's basically a weight that you may have spent a long time at, in your years of living. And once your body gets down to that particular number, so let's say you have a set point of 185 and you're starting your weight loss journey at 200 pounds. When you get down to that 185 pound set point, your body may say, hey, we remember this weight. We really liked this weight. This was a good weight for us. We're going to hang out here for a while. And that just happens. And sometimes it just takes upping your protein, upping your water, which we're going to talk about, upping your strength training, doing some of those things. Maybe it means you need to up your dose. Who knows? But if you find yourself not losing weight, like I said, it may just be a plateau, and you need to focus on some of those other things to push yourself out of that plateau. But it's natural and it's nothing to worry about. It happens to just about everybody, and you just need to kind of go back to number 1 and have a little patience. Reason number 8 is you may not be getting enough water. I recently read an article published by Johns Hopkins that talked about 5 ways in which water can help you lose weight. 1, it naturally suppresses the appetite. 2, it stimulates your metabolism. 3, it helps during exercise. And by that, when your body is dehydrated, it burns protein more quickly and it builds muscle more slowly. So when your body is hydrated, and especially during exercise, it is the opposite, right? Which means that it is burning protein more slowly and building muscle more quickly, which is what you want. Another, it helps the body remove waste. And finally, bodies need water to burn fat. Reason number 9 is perhaps you have a comorbidity that makes it a little bit harder for you to lose weight. I think if you look at quite a few of the studies, the Surmount trials and things like that have been done using these medications for people who, it was originally developed for, which is, type 2 diabetes. Yes, those people lost weight, but they didn't lose as much weight as people who don't have diabetes taking the medication. So it may just be that, if you have PCOS or cardiovascular disease or hypertension, that some of those comorbidities may just make it a little bit harder for you to lose weight. It doesn't mean that it's impossible. It just means that maybe you are going to lose weight at a little bit of a slower pace than others who don't have a comorbidity. And reason number 10 is one that no one is going to want to hear, but it is a reality, and that is maybe this medicine just isn't for you. While this medicine is hugely successful for an enormous number of people, there is a subset of people who will not lose on this medication. Just like any medication, it doesn't have 100% efficacy, okay? So there is, like I said, going to be a small percentage of people where this medication just doesn't work. So that may be you, but there are 9 other reasons why you may not be losing weight on a GLP-1 medication, and you definitely need to exhaust all of those other potential reasons before you get to number 10, right? Number 10 is like the very last ditch reason why, right? There are lots of other things that you can focus on, and my biggest takeaway for anybody in this situation is talk to your provider. Make sure that you are talking about your nutrition, that you're focusing on protein, that you are getting in enough water, that you're strength training, you're doing all the things. And like I said, talking about those things with your provider, which, like I said, is another reason why I just think that Friday's Health is so great, because they deal with everything regarding the patient, not just writing the prescription. So please make sure that you're talking to your provider and going over what you're doing and making sure that you're really optimizing your potential success on this medication. So those are the 10 reasons why you may not be losing weight on a GLP-1 medication. Hopefully you found those helpful, and maybe if you are struggling a little bit or losing weight more slowly, or maybe you've hit a plateau, hopefully some of these things can help you move forward from that and use this information to maybe make some changes that will help your weight loss journey while on a GLP-1 medication. Again, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice, but if I can help with any questions that you might have, like I said, from my own personal experience, make sure you leave those in the comment section down below. Let me know if you're experiencing one of these maybe 10 reasons, and we can have a discussion about it, like I said, in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up, and if you enjoy this kind of content, I would love to have you join us here. Click the subscribe button and the notification bell below. It does mean a lot to a content creator when you subscribe to their channel. If you haven't had enough of me yet, there'll be another video over here in the corner for you to watch. And remember, kindness and hate spread the same. The choice is yours. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.